Hello, friends. This is Sam Cheney reporting for Weaponized News. Today's May 25th, 2023, and we have a very special show for you today. A different show. How did they make the pyramids? With our very special guest, Rodger Spur. But before we get to him, everybody, how about independent journalism, the First Amendment, free speech? Go to weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a holograph sticker, the most popular one. We have the plain white background sticker and the clear background sticker. Put it on your guitar, your bumper, your laptop. Help us spread the word about our inalienable natural rights that are under extreme attack by this insane tyrannical government. Everybody go there and get a lapel pin. We have some books there. Go check out weaponizednews.com/shop and help us out. Without further ado, our very special guest, Rodger Spur. How you doing today, Rodger? Connectivity issues, it seems. Hello, Rodger. Well, that wasn't a very good. There we go. Are you there, Rodger? Well, that wasn't a very good intro.
I'm here. Can you hear me all right? Because I was having trouble hearing.
No, we got you, Rodger. Go ahead.
All right?
Yeah.
Straight without it breaking up or anything.
Yeah, it seems your connectivity level is at 7, so we're trying to keep it going here.
All right. So it is connected and you can see my screen and everything?
Yep.
All right.
So how did they make the pyramids, Rodger? It wasn't the slaves carrying these giant blocks up a ramp?
No, it wasn't. Not at all. It appears that the pyramids were deconstructed and built from the top down. I know it sounds insane, but here's the ancient maps.
Rodger, you know what's insane is the back of our dollar bill and that pyramid right there. That's pretty insane right there, if you think about it.
Yeah, and that you have no idea. You have no idea how insane this about the government. But that's another show. That's a serious issue here. Anyway, you see what you're seeing here? This is a Giza. And what does it look like to you? What does it look like? It looks like tree trunks, right? And the pyramid's built on the top of the tree trunks. You hearing me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not, tell me, because I'm still having connectivity issues, I think. But anyway, these trees, they thought, apparently, that these were tree trunks. And that these tree trunks were whittled down and left pyramids sticking out of the top of them. It looks like to me, that's how I interpret this. Pyramids sticking out of the top of them. It looks like to me, that's how I interpret this. All right, something's not going right. I just heard myself.
No, there's a little feedback on my end. Go ahead, Rodger.
All right. That's how I interpret this. Here, let me show you.
It's going. Don't worry about it. I got it under control. So, man, this stuff's crazy. We want to trigger the anti-establishment scientists out there, which is the actually establishment.
I just put up a video. That's why I have all these clips up. And I just put up a video of this about how the pyramid was constructed. And here's the top of the pyramid. This is the very, very tippy top of the Giza pyramid, the big one. Now, those aren't all the same size stones. And those are, what's this black one doing right in the middle there? And why do we have a hole here? All right, I can tell you exactly why both of those things are there. And let me start out by showing you another clip of what blood is. All right, I do the mud fossils. I don't know. Do these people know about the mud fossils that I do, Sam?
My audience, I don't know if they know or not. We've never covered it on Weaponized News, so
All right. Well, let me see. Here's what happened. I discovered soft body tissue, like this head, could fossilize and turn solid like stone, and it did. And you see the nose is all wrinkled off here. This was a real body, and this was CAT scanned and everything. And you see the red here, and you see the black up here, and they say, "Oh, that's just ferrous oxide." And I say, "Well, do you know what ferrous oxide is?" And they said, "Well, it's a metal. It's iron." And I said, "You know where iron comes from? It comes from your blood." And there's two stages of it. There's the red one, which is hematite, and it's got 3 oxygens. That's the one you need to make your muscles work and all that. And the black is magnetite, which is the used blood, and that's from the veins. There's artery blood and there's vein blood. The artery blood turns black. You see up here, this guy's head was crashed. Somebody smashed his head in. And that's what they call bone black. It comes out of the marrow of the bone. It's got a lot of iron, really, really rich in the iron. And the other red blood is a plasma. It's got a lot of red blood cells, and it stays fluid forever. My stuff still is fluid today from when it was preserved thousands of years ago, 3,000 years. A lot of red blood cells. And you still hearing me okay?
I'm hearing you. I'm just getting all the streams up. We're on YouTube. Hopefully, we can leave this video up and not get censored on there. We'll try. This is an experiment to see.
Well, I don't know. They shouldn't censor me. I'm not doing anything wrong. But anyway, here's the deal. This again is the tip top of the pyramid, and you see the point is gone and it's just flat. And you see that black one that I talked about right there, and you see these holes behind it. This is what happens with a vein and an artery. All right.
Okay.
The vein is the black one. They turn hard. That's the iron. Very, very hard. The red ones drain out. They're like mud, and they drain out. That's why there's holes there. Now let's look at it real close, and you can see the actual red blood. You see this one right here? That is all that little stuff that's all around there. That's blood. That's not mud. That's blood. You see it?
I see it.
All right, and that's coming out of that hole, which was what fed that with blood. And you always, not always, but almost always, you have a vein, which is the black one, right next to the artery, which is the red one. They basically run together most of the time. So that's the tip top of the Giza pyramid. Now, just to show you, hold on. Let's see if I can show you something here. I wasn't really ready for this, but let me show you this real quick. This was, did they use same size blocks? On the pyramids. You see this? The Great Pyramids use stones of different size and heights for the different layers. And they claim that it was because they used big ones on the top or on the bottom and small ones on the top. That's not necessarily true. Here's what they did use. I have a dragon scale here. I get things from all kinds of people. And this is it right here. Now, in my video, you can see it. You're not going to see this anyway. You'd have to see the video to see this in good detail. But this is my dragon scale here, and here's the stripes in it. It's under the microscope. And there's blood in that dragon scale of mine. And there's blood in the pyramid. You see here the pyramid? This is what's inside the pyramid. This passageway going down, all the way down to the bottom. I have one in my dragon scale too. And it's blood. It's blood going down. Up here is a little artery that goes up here to where blood pooled in the center. They carved this red granite gallery out of blood.
Now, is this all part of some type of blood sacrifice ritual they're doing inside the pyramid?
I can't talk to that. All I can talk to is the material evidence that is here. Here's the outside of the pyramid. Here's all the different blocks. And there's big ones, there's small ones, and they're different sizes. And they're all different sizes. And because that's what the biology did. It made them so here and there, they were a little bit different. Now, it needed blood. This is where the blood came all the way down here. And some came up there, the major amount of blood to feed the tissue. And then there's another little artery that runs down here. What I should do, I'm going to do this. Let me go back to, I'm going to go to the video. I just put it up. And it shows very clearly what I'm talking about. You probably have to have a commercial here for a second.
I'm about to blow your mind. This is going to be
I'm about to blow your mind too,
really
buddy.
Important lessons. You might have heard the fact that bacteria.
We'll let you run through that commercial. Okay, here we go.
Here, are we ready?
Did you know that if you live in America for the next few days, you'll be able to get a complete solar system from our government? And
all the people that claim to want to.
Okay. These guys don't know about the dragon either. Oh man, everything is up in the air here. Hold on. Let me back out to the dragon. Because you got to understand everything or you're never going to understand any of it.
This disclaimer for Rodger, he wasn't fully prepared. I sprung this on him, so he's working on the fly. We really appreciate that, Rodger.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure I screwed it up, but that's all right. You could take credit.
You did fine. You're doing fine.
All right, here goes. Now, here's the deal, and I know this is going to freak you out, and it should. This right here, follow my cursor.
I've never heard this theory before, Rodger, that you're saying. So it is very interesting, and it's triggering and angering me that you would go against the scientific establishment the way you are.
Well, they're upset. Now what? Here's the deal. There was every single culture there was on Earth, 100% talked about dragons and giants and giant creatures, and a devastating verdict by whoever was in charge, gods, however you want to interpret it. I go back to Apollodorus, to the ancient myths, and I can show you right now. Apollodorus wrote about this creature that goes all the way across North Africa. And you're going to say, oh, Rodger, you must be crazy. And I said, well, let's start with his head. All right, right there. That's his head. There's his red flared flaming eye coming out. This is his throat. You see, follow my cursor down. There's his throat. Follow it all the way down. That's his throat. That's where he ate gigantic things. I don't know what he ate. And here's where he was cut by Zeus with his great and mighty sword. And here is the red blood in the desert and the black blood. Remember we talked about the red and the black?
Yeah.
Here's the red. It grows things, makes them grow green. You buy blood meal to make your plants grow as green as they can grow. And this is in the desert. Look at what's going on there. And his throat is still leaking blood into the desert. Now there's the black. That's the oxidized black blood. And this is the red blood, still fluidy. Now all of this red stuff all over here, follow my cursor, all of that is runoff. Here's the border of his body right here. All below that is blood. It's a watery substance that leaks out of bodies as they decompose. It's fully understood. I mean, I'm not making any of that up. Now, these plates right here, you see these plates? Here's his throat where he ate stuff, and it's collapsed. But this is not collapsed. This is his dragon-scaled throat. You see those plates? Those are his dragon scales, and in between each plate is a little hinge. He had to be able to move his throat up and down. This is his throat, runs all the way down here. And those dragon scales do too. Obviously, they're because they're on his throat. You see it? All the way down, 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 all the way down. And then he gets cut here by Zeus. Exactly what it says in Apollodorus. I am not making this up. He says he was cut with his great and mighty sword, and he talks about this dragon. And the throat continues to run all the way down. This is still his dragon-scaled throat. You see it? It's changing a little bit. It's heading towards his belly. And it's skirting out to cover his belly now. And it covers all the way down, all the way across North Africa, from there to here. And here's some more scales at the other end. You see it? Same thing running off. And so here he is. This, just to here, I think, is 1,100 miles from here to here. He's 1,100 miles long just to here. And all of this is flared and fluty, is his tail as well. And if you look at it real close, you can see the dragon scales. They're a little different texture to them when they get out to here, almost like feathers. But they're still, you got to dig around. You can see them, all the dragon scales. So this, and it's exactly what it says in Apollodorus. It says that when he stood up, his head brushed the stars. Now, he was supposedly a hybrid, means he's between a beast and a human, and exactly what he is. And they specifically point out his thighs. You see his legs here, the thighs? He says they had the thighs of a human. And other than that, he had coils that ran all the way down around here. And these are coils. This is skin. This is not sand dunes. You get somebody that's ever done any tanning of leather. That's leather, my friend. That is not sand dunes. Nobody's ever paid any attention to this. It's just incredible to me. And this is exactly what they wrote. These were his viper coils. They reached all the way around and could hiss all the way around here back up to his head. This thing was enormous. Now, he was attacking this fish. So are you good with the fact that this was a dragon? Do you agree or no?
I don't know, Rodger. It's very interesting.
Well, do you see the dragon scales?
I can see what you're pointing out here. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Do you see him? Do you see his throat here?
Yeah.
Do you see that gash down here with the blood running out of it?
Right, I see here? Where you say that Zeus stabbed him. Yes.
This is cut right across. That's a gash from Zeus.
So this is a giant.
This guy is
1,400, 1,500 mile dragon fossil at the top of North Africa.
Yeah, I would say go with 1,100 miles.
1,100 mile long fossil.
Yeah.
Has there been any archaeological digs or research there to?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah.
They couldn't care less. They are so scared of this.
They're
Now,
serious scientists, Roger, that care about the truth.
they don't care about the truth, not at all. Not a single bit of truth in them. Not a single one of them. I haven't met one. I have been doing this now for 6 or 7 years. This dragon in the desert in Morocco attacking this fish, showing the details that there's no way to deny it. Where do you see what he did to this fish? And I just showed you his dragon scale. Here's his dragon head. All right, and here's the beards. You know how they always show them with beards?
And how long ago do you estimate this took place?
3,500 years ago.
3,500 years ago.
Everything that I have, and I have everything, is on the surface of the earth. My stuff is DNA tested. I have giant human fossils that are DNA tested, and I have one out here in the back that's got a 3-foot long fingertip. Still has the fingerprints and the fingernail on. I got to show. I'll show it to you right now.
So you're talking about giants now, right?
No, everything was giant back then.
Doesn't the Smithsonian over here in the United States go around and cover all this ancient history up?
I do believe that's true. I have no evidence to support that, but I do believe that's true. Let me put it this way. I went to Yale with all my stuff in about 2012 to Yale University with CAT scans, DNA, specimens, everything. They refused to look at it. I forced the issue. And I forced them to respond, and they did. They said, "Well, we don't see anything. We don't see anything." And I said, "I got CAT scans. I got DNA. I got specimens. I'll do anything you want. Oh, you'd have to go and use our CAT scan people." We did. They still refused. And then a year later, they wrote a paper saying that this event happened. Do you know that they wrote a paper about this? I bet you nobody knows about it because they didn't tell anybody.
I didn't know, Roger. No.
Yeah, it's.
Did they steal your work, Roger?
No. They hide everything. They hide everything. Look at this. I put up this video about it. This is going to be another commercial for a second too. That's all right. It's only going to be 5 seconds. Now I put up this video saying I want a response.
Okay, my friends.
And the other thing is this: I'm putting up a completely new library of everything. Everything's changed. Now the single thing that we have been taught is true. Nothing. Zero. Let me just play this.
Zero? That's the theme of our show here, Roger. So you tie right in. Everything they say is a lie.
It is 100%. And here I'm going to show you right now. If I played this, is that okay?
Play it.
Here it goes.
What finally happened. It's hit the mainstream now. They're talking about the mud fossils and the preservation of these soft tissues opening now, finally.
Now listen to me. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, or anybody puts any comments or chat saying, well, what about this, what about that, then interrupt it and I'll stop. All right?
None so far. It's people are trying to. This is new information for my channel. I don't know. Maybe I very much enjoy looking at the hidden history, and there's stuff out there. It is very interesting to what all has been covered up and what all we can prove now for sure. Just trying
to see this. This is going to knock your socks off. This is exceptional preservation of soft-bodied. They call it some fancy name. Biota just means plants and animals, promoted by silica-rich oceans. You hear this? Worldwide, there's one layer worldwide, silica-rich oceans. Oh, a great flood. They said it happened. Well, here, I'm going to just play this. Listen to this now. And again, we're going to start a whole new school and have all new books, a new library, and I'm going to teach it and comment on instructors that are going to be giving classes around the world, really. So here goes.
Of these soft tissues opening now, finally. Okay, my friends, so why am I so excited? Well, exceptional preservation of soft bodies of creatures and plants promoted by a silica-rich ocean. Now, this was Derek Briggs. I presented all my work to in 2012, 13, 14, 15, all through that era. And I wrote a book in 2016, in January 2016. They published this paper in November of 2016, a year after my book came out or so. But I had been working with Derek and Armand, his assistant, Armand Morgan. Hello, Armand. I told you this day would come, my friend, and here it is. They say, yes, a worldwide layer, worldwide, exceptionally preserved soft-bodied creatures, all different types, and they don't know why they preserve so well. How the fossils are preserved remains controversial. It was a hot water worldwide flood of salts. And exactly basically what they say. Rapid precipitation, high silica saturation of the oceans. And the oceans covered the entire world. It was one layer worldwide. It says it right up there. This one strata world.
This is Yale University in their paper 1 year after I came out being kind of nasty with my book. So really they refuse to engage, which is not right. That's academic. You know, I'm not going to call any really nasty names, but it's not right. And they took credit for my work, saying that they figured out how this works, and they didn't. I know how it works. It's nucleophilic substitution because of the different chemistry. Things can turn into all kinds of different chemistry. Some can be an opal, a finger, and the same finger could have turned into mud if it was in a different position. Now listen to this. There goes.
Worldwide. So they know this. So they sort of obscured the words. And as far as I know, I never even knew this existed until just a few months ago. I was digging into something and boom, it popped up. So they say, yes, there was a worldwide flood. And all my mud fossils came from that. And these, again, I submitted them all to Derek Briggs years before this. So I was really surprised to see this paper, but I'm glad to see it. I got to be honest with you. And now everybody's taking note of it because I brought it to light. And I just saw they're starting to talk about it. You see this? Current.
Now this is coming up on these blips that come up every day. You get new news. So now they're starting to talk about it, but they're talking 550 million years ago. No. It's right on the top of the surface of the earth. Everything I have, I picked up off the surface of the earth. And what I show you, the stuff I have, as a matter of fact, I'll show it to you. Well, now let's just go with this. Here we go.
Many of the animals were soft-bodied. And this is the scientists uncovered evidence of what could be Earth's first mass extinction. So they're talking about this Endicott mass extinction of the entire Earth. And that's precisely what they're talking about here. Atacara. They named it Atacara. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's one layer worldwide. And that was the Great Flood. As far as I'm concerned, it seals the case. And that's why all my mud fossils are perfectly preserved, soft-bodied creatures. Thank you, Yale. I appreciate your assistance.
Do you love getting high?
There's only another. Yeah, I like getting high. Hold on a second.
I've got you covered. You need.
All right, here goes.
Okay, my outstanding friends, time to go back to school. They have just announced that there was a worldwide flood that happened, they claim, millions of years ago. I say it works exactly as Velikovsky said 3,500 years ago. And literally all the ancient texts and carvings and glyphs and so forth, record this event.
Do you know who Velikovsky was, Sam?
No.
All right. Velikovsky he wrote a book called Worlds in Collision. And the ancient texts that talk about Zeus cutting Typhon's throat, which I just showed you that did happen. They talk about the feared god Jupiter, which is Zeus, which is the planet Jupiter. Literally, the planet Jupiter was Zeus. He gave birth to the fiery comet, which turned out to be Venus. And it approached Earth for 7 days. Its fiery mass, it's the same size as Earth, came at us with the power of a sun or more, and finally glanced right off our atmosphere. And that's what caused this worldwide flood. And it boiled the oceans and cooked everything. It was an absolute nightmare. Now, Velikovsky did this extreme research. He was a buddy of Einstein's. They were friends. He was a scholar of the extreme magnitude. He went everywhere in the world, and he got all of the ancient texts, the codexes, the papyrus, the carvings, the ancient oral texts from everywhere in the world, literally. Museums, libraries, very, very well studied guy. And he came up with the fact that everybody in the world, everybody had the same story and the same date 3,500 years ago, approximately. And it was the same global event. The Mayans, the Incas, everybody, 100%, right across the board. So,
Rodger, we got our co-host Thomas, another scientist. You guys are the big brains on the show. Let's bring him in. I think he probably has some questions for you about this very interesting topic, and we really appreciate your research and bringing this to light on Weaponized News. We're going to bring in Thomas here from Alpha Mega Energy. Hopefully his audio is good there. How you doing today, Thomas? No audio. He always has to. I'm going to reorganize our screen here too. But go ahead and continue there, Rodger.
Okay, I'm just going to keep playing this. If you get together with Thomas, I really, really want questions about this. Like, how could this?
He's going to ask you questions.
Huh?
He's going to ask you questions.
That's what I want. I want is the deepest person that you can find to ask me the questions. All right, here I go.
And Yale now agrees with my stuff that I sent. I proposed all this stuff to them. I told them, I said, I have CAT scans, mud fossils, they're perfectly preserved. And now they did publish the paper. A year later, they said, yes, all those things are true, but it's been a little bit suppressed in its presentation. So we need to start all over anyway. Geology's wrong, history's wrong.
You know that paper that Yale wrote, only 180 people have ever read it.
And virtually everything's wrong. The chemistry, the feldspar, how stones and so forth are created, it's, there's so much wrong, we just have to start over, which is literally a new library. So we're going to start with introduction to mud fossils and geology and how the surface of the earth is not what we thought it was like. And it's literally constructed of creatures, the bodies of creatures. And that's exactly what they said at Yale. However, they claim that's a certain layer. Well, the layer is on the top of the earth. Every single fossil I will show you is picked off right at the surface of the earth. Nothing here is hidden. Nothing is deep. So this just happened recently. Okay, so don't forget, this was Derek Briggs' his group here from November 2016. Well, this was when I was so frustrated. I wrote my book February of 2016. So they published their paper because I published my paper. A book is a book. It's like 99 cents.
All I wanted to do was clear Velikovsky's name. They destroyed him. He had, listen to this now, and everybody should look up Velikovsky. He had his book, Worlds in Collision, which was all of the documentation from that era. Worlds in Collision. And he wrote it, and the academic, and it was on the bestseller list, number one on the bestseller list 11 weeks in a row. And the academics forced the publisher to take it off the bookshelves because they didn't like what it said. They banned the book. That's true. You look it up now.
Isn't that illegal now? You got the entire left going absolutely wild over people who are against books. I mean, they can
Let me
force.
tell you something. Nothing is illegal because the people that know how to work the legal system can make it illegal or illegal. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they're pushing child pornography on children, but they can't have a book about mud fossils. I mean, way too dangerous for society. Mud fossils.
Oh yeah, this is you will be right out of your job, and I don't care what job you're in. Basically, as soon as you start talking about this, because they say this guy's got to be insane. Well, anyway, let's get back to this. Mud fossils. I wrote my book called Mud Fossils and Velikovsky and Minds in Collision because their minds were just colliding with reality. They could not accept it. So I just made this 99 cents so that Velikovsky would have his day in court. They attacked me so viciously for putting this up. Anyway, here goes. The academics tried to destroy me using flat earth people. They said, if you believe that there were giants in the earth and giants on the earth, you must believe in God. And if you believe in God, you must believe that the earth was flat because that's what it says in the Bible. And then nothing but that for 10 years. They kept attacking me saying the guy's a flat earther. He thinks the earth is flat. Well, that's just not the case. I know the earth is a round spherical ball. And I also know that our ionosphere, which is the outer layer of our atmosphere, which is glued literally to our earth, is scrubbing the hell out of the not vacuum of space. Space is 100% saturated with particles, and we are scrubbing through it, and that's where our global warming is coming from. You know what the temperature is out on the ionosphere? It's 2,000 degrees. Why would it be 2,000 degrees out there? It's because of the scrub, and that's what's causing the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the global weather patterns, the condensation, the rains, the floods. Anyway, back to this.
I believe NASA recently came out with they published information. They said that the Voyager probe actually got stuck in the plasma of what do they call it? They basically said that there's like a plasma bubble surrounding the solar system that you cannot pass, and the Voyager probe actually got stuck inside of it for a time. And then later on, they claimed it got unstuck. No explanation how it got stuck. No explanation how it got unstuck. And then they said that this was over 60,000 degrees, and no explanation how the probe didn't melt, and how it continues to go on and work. And they just say it is, and you're to believe this, right? No verification.
I got to
invalidate it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I really can't comment.
Roger, take us back to how did they make the pyramids? You give us a little background about the dragon and the fossils. How did they make these pyramids? It wasn't the pharaohs up there with whips whipping the Hebrew slaves?
Nope.
No.
They were actually dragon scales. Here, they started here.
Dragon scales.
Yes. They were dragon scales.
How does this tie it together for us, Roger?
Okay, let me just continue with this, and you'll see. This was where I was upset, and I wrote the book.
All I wanted to do was make sure that people understood. And
now I'm going to get back
the
past
atmosphere literally boiled the ocean. All collagens. It's collagen and feldspar.
Here, I'm going to at a time.
Connection issues there on Roger's end. When he's getting to
89.
We're partially cooked. Now,
that's so weird.
Out there.
Yeah, right when it's getting to the good stuff, it starts cutting out coincidentally. Coincidentally enough.
Yeah, so they say they said here at the outmost edges of our solar system lies a barrier of super hot plasma, a giant wall of fire from the sun that defines the edge of interstellar space. And then they said that it recorded temperatures as high as 89,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 49,427 degrees centigrade.
Hey, Sam.
You're back. You're looking good there.
Was that me losing you? You guys were okay without me?
Yeah, we kept it going. We're trying to.
Okay.
Thomas
anyway,
is giving us the fake report from NASA.
Yeah, they can't be that incompetent. They can't be as incompetent as they portray themselves.
No, they have the best and brightest minds and $1 gazillion, whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't think that they could be this incompetent, and I don't think they're stupid either.
No, I can't believe what they do.
He's glitching as bad as Twitter Spaces today.
Here's spinning out at the fish. You see the fish down here? See that big giant fish? You see that fish? Now look at this. Dragon's mouth or actually his beards. This, whatever that is, it ain't some kind of ox. And it actually ate through the fish's back. How do you see it? Can you see all that? You see that, Sam?
You have a bad connection again, Roger. I don't know what is up there.
Roger, Roger, I think you should reset your Wi-Fi there,
I don't know
and then try to come back on. Roger, can you hear us?
It's very odd when he gets into the real interesting stuff. You had a great signal there for a minute.
Yeah. Amazon shut him down. They couldn't have him selling bad books about mud. You know,
his book for 99 cents. Let's share his book while he's gone. Here's his book up there on Amazon. He's selling it, or it's $0 actually on Kindle. So there you go. Everybody go look at Rodger Spur's book, Mud Fossils and Velinsky and Mines in Collision. Velikovsky, yes. Mines in Collision there. He didn't even tell me he has a book. He has another book here too. So Rodger is trying to do his Mud Fossil University, taking it to the establishment, and they, of course, do what they do with everybody. If you're not in the club, they gaslight you, lie about you, smear you, try to cancel you, and so he's experienced that.
Free Kindle book, Kindle Unlimited. I guess that's with the subscription or something like that by the sound of it. Kindle Unlimited.
I think
familiar.
So. Are you there, Roger?
They give you some books for free. He took a break while he's doing a reset or something.
Back to 9 connectivity. The perils of live streaming. Thank you for tuning in to weaponizednews.com. We're trying to get to the bottom of how did they make the pyramids. If we can get some good internet signals on this live stream, we can hopefully bring you that. It was very informative about the geology of North Africa that Rodger was sharing with us.
Yeah, maybe he'll come by. Let's cover this while we're waiting to see if he can get back on or whatnot. Pop this up. This is a article of what I was talking about from NASA, where they.
Hey, I hear you, but she's going to reset.
Oh. Okay, so this is from the Sun, and there's many articles about it. You can easily find a bubble of super hot gloop. So, what is a gloop? A gloop is a physical material, right? Like a goo, some kind of sludge, some kind of like honey or something like that, right? So a bubble of super hot gloop surrounds our solar system, and a NASA probe is stuck in it. That's what NASA claimed, that it was stuck inside of this goo. Okay, the giant wall of fire is made up of material ejected by our sun and reaches temperatures of nearly 50,000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so here you have the image of this massive wall of hot plasma, and they said the Voyager 2 is stuck inside of there. So there's some wall, some bubble, some dome outside of the solar system is what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. How interesting that NASA is now telling everybody that there's a dome outside at the edge of the solar system, exactly similar to what the flat Earth people are talking about. How weird! How super weird is that? When I first saw this, I was like, "What the hell?" NASA's literally telling people that we're living under a dome or something. Is this why they're pumping all of this claims about CO2 being an issue? You know, if the Earth was living in a dome, if we're in a closed environment and we're adding more and more and more gas in there, and the light, the radiation is coming in from the outside of the dome, like we're in a fishbowl or we're in a what do they call those little Santa Claus shakers where you make the snow globe or something. If we were living inside of something like that and the light was outside of that and there's more gas in there, right, then there'll be more pressure in the system and then it will actually get hotter. So if we were living inside of a dome, then CO2 would actually potentially make this hotter, potentially, but it could also cool it. So you need to actually just run an experiment, and they can do that, but they don't do it. But why don't they do it? The only reason they wouldn't do it is they would want to do it. It would then reinforce what they're claiming, but they don't do it because it doesn't reinforce what they claim. And that's why there's no scientific experiments anywhere that you can see, no replication of this anywhere, because every time they do it, it shows cooling. And we have more CO2, and what do we have? We have cooling. 8 years of snow, record snowfall. Even Southern California, completely blanketed in snow this year, right? Nobody's ever seen that before. Everybody's shocked and making worldwide headlines. So this plasma ring, so NASA is literally now telling everybody that we live in a dome. And the Voyager 2, it's physical. It's a physical dome. And the Voyager 2 got stuck in this goop, they say. Super hot gloop is what they called it. A bubble, right? A round dome bubble. How interesting. And then they say little is known about the scorching region at the end of the solar system, but NASA is shedding light on it, right? Thanks to one of its deep space probes, Voyager 2, crossed into it, etc. And it was stuck. And then later on, maybe a couple months later, they said it just magically got unstuck, and they don't know how, and now it's unstuck and it's going on its way. So it gets, I don't know, I don't generally see anything get stuck in honey. A fly, little tiny bug gets stuck in the honey and then somehow makes it through.
Can we believe them? Is this just feeding into the flat Earth psyop? There's a lot of questions out there, Thomas, that it's hard to trust anything from the official sources. Do they give us some truth? Are there secret white hat hackers out there that are going to save us? Let's go, since we're on science on this topic today. Let me get your take on this, Thomas, from the Daily Mail. 100% lab-grown babies in 5 years. Japanese researchers are on the cusp of creating human eggs and sperm that can be grown in a fake womb. Producing human sperm and eggs in a lab is known as vitro gametogenesis. Should we be growing
in vitro gametogenesis? Yeah. The well, hey, according to the QAnon, the Q pumpers, this is really old news, like 40, 50 years ago, and they're able to clone actual grown human beings without any growth stage of the 30 or 40 or 50 years it needs to clone these people. And you got all these clones walking around, magically produced somewhere. Any evidence for that? Of course, they don't have any at all. Nothing to reference. It's pretty asinine, this claim. But if you say that, let's say, for example, in one of their Twitter spaces, you'll be immediately removed and kicked out of the group and blocked by a number of people because you dare not question the Q, I guess, Q for question, but you dare not question the QAnon Q pumpers. They're 100% against it. So, and people saying that this QAnon is a cult. And it certainly is.
There's these rigid ideologies like that. The conspiracy theorists out there are making us look bad, they're just as bad as the academic cult that doesn't allow any questioning of their orthodoxy and ideology. Here's some more about that. Scientists create mice with two biological fathers for the first time in breakthrough that could pave way for gay men to have children in the future. Is this needed? This is not needed.
Well, it doesn't seem to be. I mean, Peter Thiel and his husband had no problem adopting a little girl. So
Pete Buttigieg has a little baby that he adopted and is breastfeeding with prosthetic breasts. So I mean,
oh my God, you're kidding. I haven't heard that yet.
I don't know. Well, I know they have an adopted kid. I don't know. I think that may be fake on the internet. Somebody photoshopped it, but it is pretty funny. And the guy did. He's supposed to be transportation secretary and goes on like these 6-month-long vacations for maternity leave or some crazy thing when all kinds of infrastructure issues are happening. And he seems to be missing in action. The CIA
after shutting down all the transportation, creating the massive food supply crisis, which created the inflation. It was a supply side problem. They shut down all of the production in America, shut down all of the imports, shut down the ports. And who did that? Of course, none other than your gay transportation director, Pete Buddy Gay, shut that down.
Pride Month is coming up in June, so we have to support our gay transportation secretary.
Right, who shut down the economy, shut down the transport, shut down the supply, shut down production and manufacturing in America, which made the shelves all empty, which then drove up the prices to the moon, caused all the inflation. It was not the Federal Reserve printing that caused the inflation. It was Pete Buttigieg shutting down the supply side and all of the mandates that stopped the workers from being able to work, shutting down factories unless they comply with these draconian Nazi concentration camp mandates and guidelines, etc., to the point where even Elon Musk was forced to relocate his factory out of California into Texas, so that he can work, so that they can actually work at their factory and do any kind of production. So.
Is this necessary, Thomas? This what they're saying here, Lab? I mean, where are the Christians? Every church should be, going insane over this, but you won't hear anything from the 99% of churches. You won't hear one word about 100% lab grown babies in 5 years, right out of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Yeah, they should be fighting against it. It's yet to see. It's yet to see if this can actually indeed work. They endlessly oversell all of their new innovations and medical products, and look at it. It's all garbage. It's just causing massive carnage on humanity, massive disease. Right? Since the 1980s, it was established. Even in 1990, there was a massive load of studies, and this was just presented at the European Union Parliament by Dr. David Martin very recently. Over 1,000 studies showing that vaccines